Greetings, dear ones. I am the Keeper of Time. I have come in this day to join you in your timeline, to tell you a little bit about what is coming, where you are, and the beauty that we see from this side of the veil. For you are in a very unusual situation. You are evolving faster than you ever thought possible. Oh yes, we understand. You can look at your televisions, your news, your world events, and think that everything is taking steps backwards. But it is truly the rapid movement of humanity that is causing the backlash. And that's all it truly is a backlash. If you look at the last several years of your own personal life, you'll see that you've evolved past things, and in truth, many of the surrounding areas, whether it be a government, whether it be a collective, whether it be a religion, whatever it is, are starting to change some of their positions, some of their perspectives, which is outstanding, because now you're starting to see things from a totally different area. And yet that forward movement, it was so rapid over so few years, that it has also caused a backlash, a very simple balancing of the wave patterns. It is very common for humans to collectively take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. But we're telling you now it looks much more like 5 steps forward and 1 step back. So please do not get discouraged at what you see in front of you. There's actually some things that you can do to anchor a new light, and to help the collective vibration of humanity in general form a new level of consciousness, higher than ever before, to prepare for the even further evolution of humanity. You are now carrying much more light, 1/3 more light than you were before the 12/12/12, December 12th, 2012. Now, of that, it means that even the cells in your body had to do a major adjustment to hold that light, or to be even able to hold it momentarily. So you can understand why sometimes your physical body is also being taxed and drained as well. Well, that is all the things that are moving at the speed of love. But there are some beautiful things taking place. Number 1, a new grid has formed. And we are very proud of that. Even though it is less than a couple of hundred people, it is spread very well in specific parts of the globe. And if nothing more than that, will help to balance some of these waves and return humanity to a more normal evolutionary period where not so much challenge is going on. In the meantime, there are sides that have taken on this area. One side is hoped to move forward with love, and the other side, of course, is moving forward with fear. Well, we're not even going to tell you that one of those is right and one is wrong, for that is up to humanity to decide, and each individual human. But we can tell you those are very clearly opposites. The opposite of love is not hate, it is fear. And when you understand that, you can take your sides. Now, please also understand, dear ones, it's not a battle. You often have fought against the darkness. Oh yes, we must fight against the darkness. It is a battle of light against dark. Well, if you battle darkness with light, all you get is a bunch of gray. We tell you, dear ones, it is never a battle over darkness. That is not to be feared. For when you fear anything, you must go to battle. Take a look at the very base fear that even causes you to say that, or to relate to it when someone else says it. It's much more about integrating than about determining or trying to take sides. That is a huge evolution of humanity that you've not quite learned to discern yet. So that is what we'd like to share with you today. You are all one. Very hard to say in a time where you are going through these very public elections where everybody is pointing fingers at the other one, trying to point out the difficulties and the challenges of each other, rather than even talk about what they would do if they were elected. Very challenging indeed. But it also is on a more personal basis for many people, because many of you feel lost. Many of you feel like your energy and all your work is not having the profound effect that you wanted it to have in the first place. So, that is how we can help you here today. For there's a very simple technique that works very well with evening this energy. And we also tell you that in the month coming forward, in the next 30 days basically, you will have a window of opportunity to use this and even have the forces of the universe behind you. It is called forgiveness. Not easy. What would it take for you to forgive those who put the bomb in Belgium the other day? What would it take for you for just a moment to be in the shoes of one of those bombers, one of those people who walked into a place, whether they left a bomb or whether they blew themselves up or whatever it was? What would it take for each of you to find yourself suddenly in that position, suddenly doing something even if deep inside you felt it was not appropriate, or perhaps you were going against something? That is what will solve everything. These are the times, dear ones, where you have stepped into a field of harmony. And yet, there's probably less harmony on planet Earth right now than there has been in some time. And that is up to you. How can you harmonize with those who would do you ill will at every opportunity they can? Well, that is what changes everything. Because when the light chases the dark, or when the dark seems to chase the light, who wins? Well, dear ones, there's never an argument. Any time light is visited upon darkness, it takes over. And that's why we are telling you they're not actually opposites. It is only the duality that humanity has been living in for so long that makes you carry those ideas and those belief systems forward into your new world. They don't belong here. Those types of reactions are also what give people like ICE the opportunity to use that against all humanity, to strike fear in the hearts of everyone. Of course, what they don't know is that no one can ever be controlled by fear for very long. Oh yes, it can have a profound effect on anyone at any moment of time. But over a very short period of time, dear ones, you have a self-balancing system. That is why you're carrying so much light. And if it were to balance, and you were able to get out of the wave, you'll have a grand life, and all of humanity will start building together instead of fighting each other the way that you have been doing over so many years now. What does that look like? Well, it starts with compassion. Very difficult to do. Unless you can learn about a person, you can understand a little bit of what their feelings are, or what their belief systems are, what is guiding them, what their motivations are. And those are readily available. Take a look. Do a little investigation. Find out what it's going to take for you to release your own anger, your own reprisal. You want to get something back. You want to right a wrong. Absolutely not. Now you go back to the light chasing the dark again, and you step back out of your evolution, back into a field of duality. And yet you've stepped into a field of triality, where the shadows can go away. The darkness cannot hold in the light. It never could. Is there ever a case where darkness overcomes light? No, dear ones, not even in your physics does that happen. So all we're asking you to do is carry a little more light, not only from your reactions with other things, but also with the forgiveness. Now, what if you say, okay, we've forgiven all those people, we've sent them love for their misdirection, at least from our perceptions. We send them love as part of humanity, for they, too, are part of the human evolution. And as we've told you many times, dear ones, humanity is a bandwidth of vibration. You may call this the highest vibration, and you may call this the lowest vibration, but in truth, they're all equal in some ways. And humanity moves in the entire bandwidth, not just the higher vibrations, holding and pulling it up. It won't work that way anymore. It has to move together. So therefore, all of humanity is limited in evolution, but the lowest vibration person, how fast can they move? So suddenly you're all interested in working with the lowest vibration person to see whatever you can do to bring them up and to help them evolve as well. What you can do is to forgive them. And that works. And that's the next step of humanity. That takes you out of the wave entirely. That gives you an opportunity to set something into motion just for you. Instead of your anger, instead of your reprisals. And we tell you, dear ones, it happens on many levels, not only on an individual level, but on a collective level of a country especially. And in fact, many of you have been controlled by that without ever knowing it. The waves. What happens when your country is attacked? Well, one of the first things that people want to see is who did it, why did they do it, and how can you get them back? That is duality. That's the old energy. And as the channel Einstein once told you, it's not possible to solve a problem on the same level in which it was created. So step above it. Step out of the frustration, the anger. Start setting a higher goal to carry more light. How would you do that? To love your enemies? Oh, what a mess that would be. But we're telling you that is exactly what it is, because when you left home, those people might have been right next to you. You might have actually been holding hands with them as you came into planet Earth. Spirits do that often. So what would it take to find that? We tell you, dear ones, if you can reach a critical mass on planet Earth where enough people can do this, it disintegrates all the energy that they have built upon. And suddenly their organization, if you call it that, falls completely apart. And not that it is negative and needs to be buried, but those are people. Those souls, those spirits are recovered and can actually be used for very positive purpose, rather than just settling a wave. So this is a perfect opportunity to step completely out of the wave, to take the higher position, to step up and carry even more light than you thought you were carrying. You're carrying some beautiful things. Even the cells and microbes in your body are changing, literally as we speak, in order for all humans to carry more light. Now, when you put the light in there in that way, and when it starts to build in people, sometimes there is a reaction, and that's what you're experiencing on a very large scale. You can change that. You can change it by not reacting yourself. Very difficult to do. There are many wars that have started on planet Earth in a reaction. Don't let that happen again. You have enough wars already. If you wish to play the game of going to war, you have enough already. You don't need any more. Step out of it. Step back. And when you reach that critical mass. We're just enough people. And we'll tell you something. We will give you a number. 100,026 critical mass. If you have 100,026 people on planet Earth that can start forgiving that have not already, everything opens and changes. You reach a level of stability of growth that you can literally find your way again and step into a whole new reality together in harmony. Now, does it mean that all the religions on your planet are ever going to agree on something? No, probably not. They don't evolve much, in case you haven't noticed. Their purpose was to find guidelines, to give you things that could work, that you could follow, that you could understand that you were separate, pretending to be separate from each other, and that you truly weren't, and that you could carry that light from home every step that you take in density. Well, here you are, dear ones. Now the opportunity. Can you give yourself the gift of the future by forgiving? That is exactly what it does, because it clears your own path of least resistance. It clears the opportunities for you to step forward without being attached, without playing the game of light and dark, without playing the game of having to gather and all collect and go in one direction and save the world. Start by saving your light in you. Let it out. Speak your truth at every opportunity. Now, we know some of you have great difficulty speaking your truth because you don't feel like you should be carrying that truth at times. Times when you wonder, others know more than I do. Why should I speak at all? Why don't I just listen and gather? Because you were given a part of the puzzle that you agreed to carry when you came here, when you left home. And all those that you promised it to are waiting, cheering on, waiting for you to take that next step. And they have been helping you along the way as well. Now's the opportunity for you to step in and create a new reality. Something entirely yours. Something that can take you into the next millennia. Are you ready? You've done such an incredible job already of holding the light. We know that many of you do not feel that because you judge yourselves. We know that. We see it. We tell you about it at times, because it starts a very negative cycle. You are creator beings. Every thought that you hold between your head and your heart is manifest in front of you. And the more of your heart energy that you can put into it, the faster it manifests. So, what are the most important things that have been manifesting on planet Earth? Has been fear. Yes, that too is a heart energy. If the opposite of love, which you hold in your heart, is fear, you can see how fear also comes from the heart. Now you have a new vision. Now you have a new way of looking at things. I'm telling you, nothing is right or wrong, dear ones. You have come to planet Earth to be here at this exact moment so that you could be part of what is taking place. And you made it. You are here. You are making a difference already. You are profound carriers of the light. You are the workers of the light. That is why we call you light workers. You see how that works? How beautiful. Take a breath, dear ones. And with that breath, we give you confidence. Anchor it in your being, in the very cells and the microbes within your body. They are all part of you, sometimes also pretending to be separate from the whole. It is time for a reunion of all the light. And you can make a big difference as long as you do not carry that resentment. Now, what about other forgivenesses? Well, almost every human being on earth has some anger, frustration that they've carried for many years. Very challenging. Like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. You're the one that is affected with all of it. So during this next 30 days, we ask you, find people even in your own past that you can also forgive, that you can also let go and correct the energy with you. There's magic ahead, dear ones. You are grander beings than you ever understood. The platform home is starting to awaken from the dream. You are here, touching each other, awakening each other, sharing the light, holding it. Dare to speak your truth, and if you feel you do not deserve to do that, understand that there is a way for you to speak your truth and still make room for other truths. For that is the grand puzzle from home that is all starting to come together. It is a beautiful time on earth. We know you see difficulties. We know many of you are in personal struggles yourself, sometimes even a bit of survival. Know that it's temporary for all of you, and know that you have the tools necessary to change everything in front of you. It starts with righting yourself and releasing the darkness to the light, who can very easily take care of every part of it. You are magicians, every one of you. You are the grand beings from home who decided to pretend to be separate to come down here and play this beautiful game. Well done. Now, take this next 30 days as an opportunity. See how many things you can let go of and how much lighter you can become everywhere as you forgive and give yourself the gift of the future. Welcome home, dear ones. It's with the greatest of honor that I ask you to treat each other with respect, no matter who they are. Nurture one another and play well together. I am the keeper of time, Espava.